Hey there everybody, Mike here, coming at you again from Badlands Paintball. Well, today I'm actually going to want to do a video for all of you new players out there. In our paintball shops, I'm always showing people how to gas up and degas their paintball markers, and that's what I'm going to want to show you today. Now, for an experienced player, this might not seem like a very hard thing to do, gassing and degassing your paintball gun, but for a new player, for starters, there's a lot of different ways to attach your air tank or CO2 tank to your paintball gun, and when you're doing it, it can be a little bit confusing and a little bit intimidating because there's a lot of pressure in these air tanks, okay? So, for all of you new players out there, listen up, this video is absolutely going to be for you. So, for starters, we're going to talk about how to attach your air tank or your CO2 tank to a mechanical marker, like this one here, the BT Delta. Now, I'm going to be using an air tank today for our example, because I much prefer air, and you should get air if you can possibly. So I'm going to start with this. Now, of course, we're going to want to pop off any protective cap that we have on there, and you can see the threading on top of the tank. We're going to use that thread, the bonnet, to thread right into our bottom ASA here. Now, before I attach my air tank with a mechanical marker, I always caulk that marker first and ensure the safety is on. Now, as a side note, for this video, everybody, we do not have air in the gun, and our paintball gun is not loaded, okay? So if you have any paintballs in your marker or your air tank is gassed up, please wear a mask and have your barrel plug or barrel sock in the marker, okay? It's no joke. Paintball guns move fast, you gotta be safe. So, I've caulked my marker, I've put my safety on, I've ensured that if I had paintballs in the gun, that barrel sock is on as well. And once I know all those things are okay, I can thread my tank onto my gun. Now, when you're threading it on, it should go on nice and easily, okay? If you're meeting a lot of resistance, if it's not just a finger twist, it means you could be cross-threading your tank onto your gun. That means you're essentially creating a new thread. It's almost like welding your tank onto your gun, okay? So if you're meeting a lot of resistance, back it up and try it on again. A good way to get your tank onto those threads initially is actually to twist the opposite way of it, which what actually turns it on. And then when you feel the click, when you feel those threads catch, twist it the correct way. So you'll catch the thread and you can twist it all the way on. Once it's gassed all the way on, you'll actually feel your gun gas up. You'll feel a little bit of the sound of it going in, and you know you're ready to fire. Now, when you want to take this air tank off again, with the mechanical markers, it's as easy as twisting it back off. If you're finding you're meeting a lot of resistance as you try to twist the tank off, take all the paintballs out of your gun, and if you actually dry fire the marker as you twist that tank off, it relieves a little bit of the pressure in the ASA and makes it easier to take it off the gun. Now, the next most standard way to attach an air tank to a mechanical marker like this one, especially one that has a stock, is going to be using a remote coil. And that is this right here. So to use a remote coil, for starters, you are going to want to take your male end and actually thread it in where your air tank would normally install. So I'm going to thread that into the bottom there. Now I'll take my ASA on my remote line. I'll make sure I'm going to twist off this top knob here, and I'll attach it to my air tank. So once that knob's twisted all the way back, I can thread my air tank on. Same rule applies. This air tank should thread on really easily to this ASA, okay? So if you're finding you're meeting a lot of resistance, back it off and thread it on again. So I thread it all the way on there. Now, nothing's going to gas up until I actually twist down this knob. As I twist down this knob, a pin is going to go down and push into my tank, allowing the air to escape. So before I air up the line, I want to ensure that none's going to escape out of this open end on this half. There's two ways to do that. For one, you can attach the line to your male end on this end. By doing that, to do that, you just pull back the quick release on the top of the remote line, slide it on forward over top of the male end, and ensure that your slide pushes right back forward again. So you shouldn't be able to take that line off your gun at all. Once I have that attached, I can then gas up the line. The other thing that you can do, is going to be an important feature of the remote line, is to use the slide check. Now the slide check is this black piece right here that slides back and forth. When that slide check is back towards the tank, you can gas up the line entirely and the air will stop at this black slide check. If the slide check is forward and your air line is gassed up, the air will escape right through. So this is really good for when you want to put down your gun between games, for example, or when I'm wanting to start up, I could actually have this tank off my back, for example. I can pull the slide check back, and now I can gas up the line. I usually hold on to my slide check just in case. So I'm going to twist down that knob, and you'll actually feel the air line tighten up when you hit the pin. You're going to want to give it another half turn. You don't have to twist it all the way down, okay? So keep that in mind. So now that my air line is gassed up, my slide check is back, I can pull back the silver tip on my quick disconnect, insert it into the male end, ensure that it's pushed all the way forward, and then once I know that my quick disconnect is attached properly, now I can push forward my slide check, and that'll gas up my marker, okay? When I'm done playing with this paintball marker and I want to degas the line, I'm going to pull back the slide check. That will cut off the air between the line and the male end. I'll remove that. Now my gun is free and finished playing with. You could actually pull the trigger when there's no air in it, and that'll cycle the bolt back forward to a resting position. Now I still have air in my line that I have to get out of there before I disconnect it from the tank. So I will twist off this top knob here. Once it reaches the end, that's going to tell me that there's no more air coming from the tank into the line, but I still have a little bit of air in the line itself. So now I'm going to slowly push that slide check forward, and that'll gently release the rest of the air in the line. Once that air in the line is released, now I can disconnect my air tank. And it's off. So that's how you use your remote line. Now, the last type of marker and the last way you're going to be attaching air tanks is to an electropneumatic style marker or any other marker that has an on-off ASA. So with on-off ASAs, unlike your standard ASA, well, it has an on-off. So you can actually gas and degas this ASA area. So to attach the tank, I'm actually going to want to twist off that knob all the way. Some markers use a lever, some use a push on, push off. This one uses a twist on, twist off, okay? So once I have that twisted all the way off, I can thread on my tank. Same rule applies, guys. Nice and easy, okay? I can't say it enough. If you're meeting a lot of resistance when threading on your tank, back it off and try again. You really don't want to cross thread your tank, okay? So once I have that twisted all the way forward, the marker is actually not going to gas up until I twist my ASA all the way down. Once it's all the way down, you'll feel the marker gas up and you're ready to fire, okay? Now when I'm done playing, all I have to do is degas that ASA. You'll actually hear the air purge out of that ASA area there, and then you can twist off the tank. And it's easy as that, guys. Now, on a final side note, if you are using any electropneumatic marker, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you have to use an air tank, okay? So I've used an air tank to show you how to attach each one of these items, but for the mechanical markers and the remote coils, you can use a CO2 tank, okay? For the electropneumatic markers, the on-off ASAs, make sure you use an air tank. So guys, that is how you attach air tank and degas that air tank and marker, and also how to use a remote line. So if you do have any questions, any further questions at all, guys, please come into any of our 9 locations across Canada. We've got tons of people in there that will definitely be willing to show you the exact same thing here if you like. And please, guys, visit us on www.badlandspaintball.com as well. Tons of information on there. And of course, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We've got tons of promotions going on. And if you want to see more videos like this, helpful videos or unboxing videos, take a look at us on YouTube. And please, like I always say, comment below if you have any more questions or concerns. We absolutely love hearing from you. So that was gassing up and degassing paintball guns as well as using remote coils. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps. Take care, guys.